Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Fixdry reached out to me and asked me if I would like to do a review on one of their filament dryers. I checked out the website and the products and I said sure, why not? Seems like a nice dryer. I already did a review some time ago on the Creality Space Pi, which I like a lot. I did a comparison before and after drying and it made a huge difference when I tested it. So it's nice to see how this one will compare to the Creality. This one is the NT1. It's a bigger one that can hold two spools at the same time. So that's nice and convenient. So in this video I will show you what's included in the set. I will show you the features and also do a full test on the machine. I will use the Anycubic Kobra 2 for the testing. Nice entry-level 3D printer, works great. And I will do the testing similar to the Creality one. They did send me this for free, so let me explain this. But they have no saying in my video. They will not see the video up front. And I will give you my honest opinion as always. If I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I will tell you I don't like it. So with that said, let's start with the unboxing and then continue with the testing. So let's open the box to see what's inside. Let me take out the machine, put it on top. Upside down. Let me turn it around. Get this one out. That's the cover. And that's the base. Looks like stainless. Let me turn it around. It is plastic, I think, but there's some stainless on top of it. Looks nice. It's you can see fingerprints on it, but I can see some rollers inside with bearings, so that's nice. There's a heating element. There's a sensor over here, so I guess this is the moisture sensor. Some buttons on the front, clicky buttons, and a large display. Let me open this one. Get rid of all the foam. It is nice to see that there are a lot of openings. 6 on the front and 2 on the top, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. So you can, yeah, there's many ways of getting your filament out of this one. And there's some holes on the top so the air can go in. Let me see what this is. There's a PTFE tube, so you can connect it to these rubbers. And then yeah, connect it to your printer, so you can print directly from the dryer. There's a little cover that goes on top of the heating element, so it is covered, and it's also a V shape, so it will direct the airflow, because I guess there will be a fan also underneath. We will see when we turn it on, but I think it will be like this. Oh yeah, here you can see there's a fan on the bottom. So it feels pretty solid. And also it looks like a no-nonsense dryer, so nothing much more to say, other than it yeah, seems well built. Let me see if this one will fit. Yeah, it fits nice. I think it's, yeah, it's a good fit. There's a manual included. It will give you an explanation on how to use it. Also there's a little table included with different types of filament. That's the nicest thing about the Creality one. You have in the menu you can select the type of filament and he will give you the settings. I don't think this machine has this, so you can read it out and then set the temperature accordingly. But if it works, it works, of course. So next step, I will turn it on and then let's go through the display and see what the options are. I've connected the machine to the power outlet, but before I turn it on, let's go to the most satisfying thing of every new product I review, and that's peeling off this protective foil. Here we go. Ah, okay, this was a good one. So now, let's turn it on, see what it does. Okay, it does show me the temperature that you can set, the humidity, 76%. It will give you the time, so yeah, how long it will turn on and heat up. If you press this one, you can first set the temperature. So you have up and down keys. So it's very basic. You can just set the temperature. If you press it one more time, you can set the hours. One more time, you can set the minutes. And that's basically it. So, like I said, a pretty basic machine. But yeah, you got what you need, I think. You can read it out from the manual, see what the settings should be. If you got PLA, let me see what they say. Where is it? Somewhere in the menu. Oh, over here. PLA, it says 50 degrees Celsius and more than 4 hours. So you can set it to 50 degrees. Let me put it on 50. And then let's say 5 hours. And that's it. Then it will shut. Let me see. Yeah, this will turn off. There's the dwell time, because I turn it off and it will stay on. Probably for, I don't know, half a minute, I guess. Let's see how long it takes. But it's a pretty easy operation. As I said, no nonsense. Just set the time and temperature and you're good to go. Let me see if it turns off. Yeah, now it turns off. So I think around 30 seconds. When it's ready, it will stay on the fan and then it will shut down by itself. Let me see if the roll fits. Yeah, it does reach this cover. If you turn it around, you will see probably that it just hits the cover. Only barely. Let me try with other filament. Let me get more. Let me get a few rolls. Let me take out a few more. Let me see the flash forge. It's a nice color, this one, by the way. This is a plastic spool. This is paper. Yeah, there's a piece in here. I think this one doesn't hit it. So it's the carton spool. Let me see if the other one also hits it. Yeah. So I think there could have been a little bit more space between the rolls and this plate. I don't think it will matter. It's not dragging too much, so it can spin freely. But I did notice that, it's a really tight tolerance. So next up, let's turn it on and we're gonna do some testing with the machine. So for the testing, I will use Creality Hyper PLA Black. This one has not been dried before the test. It's been in my shed for some time, so it will for sure contain moist. I will start off with printing this design. It's 2 posts, and because the head is moving up and down between the posts, if there's moisture inside the filament, you will see stringing between the posts. You can see it here in the slicer. It's this design. Secondly, I will print this cube. And also again, within the cube, you will see a lot of stringing if there's moisture inside the filament. I've set up this camera and it's pointing towards the bed. So once I will start printing, I will switch to this camera so you can clearly see the stringing forming. And then once this is ready, I will have a closer look at these designs. See how it's the amount of string before the test. Then I will weigh this one after printing to see what the weight is of this filament roll. Then I will put it in a dryer for at least 4 hours and I will weigh it again so you can see how many grams it lost because of the reduction of the moisture. And then I will print these ones again using the dried filament, and then once these are ready we can compare the before and after. So that's how I will conduct the test. So next up I will install this filament and print these 2 designs. One thing I forgot to mention, before you start printing, make sure that your bed is properly cleaned. I will use isopropyl alcohol and a little rag to completely clean my bed. Any leftovers is gone, any grease is gone, so you will have a good adhesion of the first layer. That's important, otherwise your workpiece might get loose or shift. So always do this before you start printing. I have loaded the filament, cleaned the bed, preheated the machine. Let me remove this one. And I've loaded the design, so I will press start. And we'll start the first printing. I think it will take about 20 minutes to finish. This one will take, I think, an hour and a half or a little bit over an hour. I need to check. But this one is pretty quick. So I finished the first print. Let me show you up close using this camera, because there's some strange things going on. As you can see, because the head moves from left to right between the posts and the filament is moist, you can see these strange things happening. So they are just filament which is pulled out of the post during the travel from left to right. And if I zoom in, let me see if I can do that, you can clearly see a lot of stringing in between these strange things. Also, yeah, this side wall is not really very nice. It's a little bit wobbly. So this is the before, and I will show you once the filament is dried. I will do the exact same printing and show you the difference. So the bed is cooled down. I've taken off the first print. Let me show you underneath this camera. And you can clearly see there's a lot of stringing. If you look over here, you see a lot of stringing. Below here in the bottom you see it on the posts. You see they are a little bit deformed. Let me turn it around. You can see over here there's some blobs on the side of the post. So a lot is going on when you have moist filament. And this is not the best print, as you can see. This is just because the head is just ripping out the filament from the side when it moves. And I will show you later, once I have another print with dried filament, I can show you the difference between this one and the other one. So next up, I'm going to prepare and set it up for printing this cube. Again, when this is finished printing, I will show you up close. This one is from a previous test. But I will show you up close when it's ready. And then you can see the difference again afterwards with the dry filament versus the wet filament. So everything is set up again, ready to print the second test cube. Let me start it. And then I will get back to you once this is printed. So the second print is ready. Let me take the camera again and show you the result. As you can see, there's a lot of stringing. If I zoom in, you can see it a little bit better. All inside the cube is stringing, stringing and more stringing. So I will wait for it to cool down. I will take it off and then I will show you up close. And then once we have done this, we can start weighing the filament and then put it in the dryer. So as you can see, there's really some good bed adhesion. It's really stuck on the bed. If you let it cool down, it will come off automatically most of the time. Otherwise you can just bend your PEI sheet and it will pop right off. So let me show you a little bit closer under this camera. As you can see, there's a lot of stringing inside the cube. Also a lot of tear out here. So from the side, when the head is moving up and down, you will see these little blobs. Also over here you see these blobs. Inside the cube you see them here and here. So there's a lot going on because of the moist filament. The bottom is nice, it's just nicely filled. This is the texture from the PEI sheet, so that's okay. But as you can see, a lot of stringing inside this cube. So next step is, let me turn this off. Next step is I will remove the filament, put it on a scale to see what it weighs. Then we do it in a dryer for at least 4 hours. And then I will weigh it again. I will let you know how many grams it reduced. And then we'll start printing again, and then we can compare the results. So now let me weigh the filament. This is before drying. I will put it on the scale. And it's 728. 728. Let me get a pen. So it's 728 grams before drying. I will put it in the filament dryer. Let me turn this one off. And this one. And I will set it to 50 degrees for 4.5 hours. Let me open this one. Put it in this side. Close the lid. Like so. I will turn it on. And although the Creality has some nice menu structure and you have presets for different filament types, I do like these buttons. They are really clicky. And where I had some problems with the Creality one, the touch sensitive menu, it didn't respond that well. Sometimes you had double click, sometimes even triple. And this is really like, it clicks and it works. So I do like this. So let me see, it's 73%. Let me put this one on so you can see it. Turn it on. I'll put it here. Hopefully you can see it. 72% humidity. It's 27 degrees and it's set to 5 hours. So let me change this one to 50, yes. And then set it to 4.5 hours. So again, very basic, but it works great. Okay, now do like this. And now it should start drying. I will leave it in the cabinet for 4.5 hours and I'll get back to you.
A few moments later.
So it's been on for 4.5 hours. It's nearly finished. No, 2 more minutes to go. It kept a pretty stable temperature. It's now at 50 degrees. Sometimes you see it go to 49. Then you hear the relay click and it heats up again. Sometimes 51, but it kept it pretty stable. It's reduced the humidity from 72% where we started all the way up to 30%. At least that's what the readout tells me. I don't have any equipment so I can measure inside. So I have to rely on this display at the moment. So it might be off a little bit. But a reduction from 72 to 30%, I think you will definitely see the difference when printing. Let me see if it beeps when it's ready. If it's ready, I'm gonna take it out and then put it on the scale and then see what the result is. We started off with 728 grams before drying. Now let's see after drying how much it weighs. And then I can load it up and do the prints again. One more minute. Let's see if it gives us a nice beep when it's ready. Yeah, it's not really loud. Only 3 beeps, so that's, yeah, could have been a little bit more. But at least now it's ready. Let me turn it off, or maybe will it shut down by itself? Let me see. I think it will have a dwell time for maybe 30 seconds and then it will shut down. But we'll see. Let me see if it turns off automatically. Yeah, it does. So I will take it out. And I will put this one here so you can have a look. Let me turn this one on. Let me move it over here so you can see. Put it here like this. Turn on the camera. Turn on the scale. So it's at 0. Now put this one on. Yep. and it gives me 721. So it reduced by 7 grams of moist, and I think that's quite a lot. So yeah, I think 722 now, so 6 grams. So that's a nice result. Let me turn this off. Turn this one off. Next up, I will load this filament into the 3D printer, and I will connect it and do some printing. So I've hooked up the NT1 dryer to the Kobra 2 using the supplied PTFE tube. It's pretty convenient that they have all these openings on the top, on the front and on the back. So you can choose either side to connect it depending on the printer you have. So that's a nice bonus. We will print this first. That's the first test print. This one was with the wet filament. And then let's compare it once the other one is finished using the dry filament. Takes about 20 minutes. I will move the camera once it starts printing so you can clearly see the print. And then once it's ready, I will get back to you. So the print is ready. Let me show you up close with this camera. You can already see, let me zoom in, that it really made a huge difference. It looks very clean, hardly any stringing, at least I cannot see any stringing. So it made a world of difference between the wet filament and the dry filament. Let me turn this off. I will wait for it to cool it down, and then I will move it, and then we can compare it to this one. But yeah, it really makes a difference. So I've got them here side by side. Let me turn this camera on and show you this one. You can clearly see all the stringing. Also on the side of the post there are some blobs. It's not looking very nice. Also on this side a lot of stringing. So that's before drying. And now let's take the other one. Show you the same. It's exactly the same print. And you can see it's a world of difference. Nice and clean print. No stringing whatsoever. The supports are nice and clean. No blobs. So it really made a huge difference. And it worked out great. Yeah, so far very good result. Like I said, it's a no-nonsense machine. It feels very solid, easy operation. Yeah, you don't have the menu in the unit like the Creality, the nice manual structure. But yeah, if you set the temperature and the time, that's it. It works like a charm. So the machine is ready for the second print. This cube. I will move the camera again once the print has started, so you can see it up close and you can see the whole print building up. And then once it's ready, I will compare it to the first one. So the second print is ready. The dryer really kept the temperature nice and stable. It's 31% now. Sometimes it moved to 29, 30%, so this is also nice and stable. Let me show you up close using this one. I do see a little bit of stringing, but it's really nothing compared to the first print. Let me zoom in a little bit. Again, I will let the temperature cool down, then I will remove it and we can compare it against the first one. And then we can see the difference between the two. I have removed the second print. Let me show you, using this camera, the first print. As you can see, it's completely filled with stringing. All these kinds of blobs on the side of the print. So it really doesn't look that nice. Now I will show you the second one. This one. As you can see, it still has some stringing, but it's really significantly less. Also, there's no blobs on the side of the print. So it really made a huge difference. Let me put them side by side. I can show you them next to each other. So this is the first one, and this is the second one. I think you can clearly see the difference. I put them into the light. So again, there's still some stringing, so it's not completely gone, but it really made a lot of difference having dried filament or wet filament. So what do I think about the Fixdry NT1 filament dryer? I like it. I think it's well built. It's nice and beefy. I like the stainless steel look. Also, I like the simplicity of the menu. It's just a simple setting. You can set the time and the temperature, and that's it. And that's really basically all you need, if you ask me. Also, these clicky buttons, they work. When you click it, they respond immediately. Where all the touch panel that I saw in the Creality, sometimes I pressed it and it touched 2 times or 3 times. It has these nice menu things. Okay, that's nice. And it's got the built-in settings for a different type of filament. But I think most of the time I use PLA. If you set it to 50 degrees and then set the time to an X amount of hours, just watch the display and see the humidity going down. For me, that's more than I need. It should work, and that's what it does. So yeah, you can have all these fancy things in the menu, but this is just a no-nonsense filament dryer, if you ask me. If I open it, I like the fact that you can put in 2 1 kilogram spools at the same time, or you can even choose to put in one large 3 kilogram spool. I don't have these, but you can put them in the middle, or you can put in one, of course. The only thing I noticed, and I already mentioned this in the beginning, if you put these spools in, the carton ones, it will touch the heat deflector. Not sure why this is. Maybe they should have put in a little bit bigger rollers, or put the deflector a little bit lower. But now it touches. It only barely touches, so it doesn't matter. It still functions without any issue. But I think they could do a little redesign on this and have a little bit more, a better tolerance. As you can see the marks on here. And over time, you can already see that you've got these spots on there. Again, it doesn't matter for the operation. It still works as intended. No issues there. But I think that's a small thing for improvement. I also read an article somewhere some time ago that they claim that this machine doesn't have a humidity sensor. It only has a temperature sensor. I couldn't find anything on this in the menu or in the manual, I mean. But for me, most important thing is that this device works. And you can clearly see that it does. So even if there's not if he calculates the humidity based on time and temperature, I'm fine with that. As long as I have good results printing, I think that's the most important part. So if they do it on a certain way, I don't mind, to be honest. What more can I say? I also like the fact that you have all these outlets on different locations. So depending on the printer you have, you can put it either on the back side or on the top. So it's nice and configurable. That's also a plus. And for the rest, I think it's just a no-nonsense filament dryer. And it works great. It's a little bit bigger, this one. They also have a smaller one which holds 1 roll. But I like to have the bigger one. I will put it next to the Creality, which is also a nice machine. But it's just what you like. The bigger one, the smaller one. Are you into a nice and fancy menu, or are you like me? It needs to work. And that's it. So again, I like this one. I can recommend it based on my findings. I will put a link in my description, in the description of the video, where you can purchase it. And that's it. I will hopefully see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you like this video. And see you next time.